Hello, it's Gramski again from the Gramski Files, and I want to talk about scrapbooks. Scrapbooks are the most popular way of keeping a journal because you don't have to do as much writing as you do recording objects and photographs. So I want to show you how, in the Victorian era, how they would have kept a journal. And they didn't just keep photographs. They decorated it with flowers and letters and the memories that they wanted to keep. So I found this album long ago, and I put my tintypes in it and my other photographs that are quite antique in the early 1900s. My grandmother would have lived in the early 1900s. So, she and her mother would have kept this kind of album. And these are some newer photos. However, not everybody could afford a real fancy album. Sometimes they were leather covered. Not everybody could afford that back then. And they had these books that they would take from their bookshelf that didn't really mean as much, and they started to add newspaper clippings, and they would store their newspaper clippings in this kind of a book. This is a real book from the early, to mid-1900s. And there are stories about my family in these newspaper clippings. And I'm just thrilled to be able to read them because my family didn't keep this kind of journal that I would have loved to have read. That they, I would have, my tag is sticking out. I would have loved to have read some of their writings, their memories, but they probably didn't think that their lives were worth recording. So all I know is there's a little sentence written from my mother's mother that said she had a chicken named Poulet. Poulet is French for chicken. So I didn't know very much about them. My mother didn't either. She didn't keep a journal, and because they didn't record their memories, I am probably overdoing it, recording my memories. In the 1990s and the 2000s, early 2000s, Creative Memories was big business. And they had the acid-free papers and things that in the 1970s, when they came out with albums, their albums had a sticky back and a film cover, and that caused the photographs to brown and disintegrate. So we were just, oh no, what's going to happen to our photos? We have to preserve them nicely. So the Creative Memories people and the other hobbyists came up with these acid-free papers that you can record memories and also items. Store a lot of different memories in them, but they're huge. I have two of these, and it doesn't even include all my family photos. So when the junk journal came around, I got a book of my own, and I started putting my memories in it. But this is called the Gate Around because I overstuffed it. So you can add photos and jewels and everything like they did in the Victorian era, memories that you wanted to keep, and it was one way of doing it without having the expense of a Creative Memories journal. However, after the iPhone came around, the cell phone, people started storing their photos in the cloud. So they didn't need these massive journals to record their photos and their lives. They had Facebook. They wrote on that. You know, they didn't need a diary. So they do have a way of handing down their memories to their children and their children's children electronically. However, you know, for all of us that really love to make books, you know, okay, well, now what do we do? In 2008, during the financial crisis, the junk journaling became very popular. And if you had, you know, if you were struggling financially, you could use many different types of mail and bags and paraphernalia, whatever you could find, to make your own book. And, you know, you could use it as a journal and write your memories in it as you were collecting these different things. I have a journal. This is a big journal, too. I made it to be a soft cover so that it wouldn't be a gator mouth. You could still close it. But it was only half of the size when I started. But, you know, you keep adding things to it and it grows. So this is still a massive book, but it has my memories with my grandchildren in it. It has pictures of books. I loved the days of Gerald and Piggy, reading that story with them, and different stories, different things that we did, different things that we created, and the Berenstain Bears was popular. And as they were growing up, this is my daughter's favorite book, and I wanted to keep that memory as well, you know, so that I kept, you know, I have cards in here that I've written on, and a lot of different things. But you can also add things like tags from various products that you used, or an item of a box that, you know, I have a Z-bar box in here for children's energy bars that I wanted to remember Z-bars. So I put that in one of the pockets along with the Spindrift sparkling water tag. So, you know, this is me and my grandchildren. Maybe they won't need it or want it when they're handed, you know, to hand down to them like the photographs. But for me, it's a treasure. You know, it's a time that I have with them. There's all different kinds of ways of keeping a scrap journal. Beatrix Potter, what she did was a publisher asked if he could publish one of her journals. And she said, sure. So she gave him the information, you know, gave him the book, and he reprinted a lot of it and made a lot of different little inserts for it, and letters, and you know, different things that you can flip and flop. So I look at this, and, you know, it's a real treasure for me, a card that she would have gotten. She used to design cards, and this picture of her father. So I love going through this because it's her life, and it's what she documented. It was her journal. And the back is a copy of the first Beatrix Potter journal or book, the story, and it's not colored. You know, it's how it would have been presented to a publisher. So, you know, all these things that, you know, for me as a treasure. I got this from a thrift shop for a song. But, you know, if you want to look for journals like this, any kind of journal that you want to use as inspiration, look at thrift stores, library, book sales. They have things that, you know, they no longer treasure. And you say, wow, you're getting rid of this for 50 cents? I'll take it. So those kind of things are fun to collect. this is a smash book. A smash book is a collection of magazines. Now, I didn't know it was a smash book when I did it. I did this in 2001 before smash book became a thing to say. But the light shining on it. There you go. I love the fact that you could write and store your favorite pictures from magazines. And this particular journal was about the early 1900s, about writers like Raymond Chandler and his lingo. It was very interesting. So I put it all in here to have for who knows why. And you can also store your coloring. I like to color. And, oh well, some of it's upside down. Well, I like to color, and I like to make little things and add them with the photos. And this is a book about Monterey history, and not all of it's very neat, but I really enjoyed keeping, this is Pemberley. A lot of the images were from Jane Austen's little coloring book. Well, she didn't make it. Someone made it of Jane Austen. And this is the last one I'm going to show you. This also I've added coloring to. And this was from ancestry information that I got for people that I, grew up with in Monterey. And I wanted to record their history as well as my history, because we experience the same things growing up, and it's nice to keep it. This is not quite a gator mouth. It would have been if I kept going with the pictures, but I stopped. So that's all I want to tell you for this time. On Monday, I'm going to start with a series. Monday's going to be coloring, but you can color with colored pencils, with paint, with anything, ink, with anything you can think of, chalk. So on Mondays, we'll color. On Tuesdays, we'll do junk journaling. Oh, there are so many different kinds of journals you can make. And I want to show you, I show you my styles, because there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of junk journaling. And I want to introduce you to some of those creators. On Wednesday is the new craft of the week. It'll be some craft that I haven't tried before. That's a challenge. Wednesday's challenge day, hump day. Thursday is fiber day. So, whether you're knitting or weaving or cross stitch, it's what to do with fibers. Any kind of fiber craft. Friday is dyeing paper or cloth. And I love dyeing paper. I just love it. I need a little more work with cloth. But I think I've got it down for dyeing paper. Saturday is about gardening or hiking. Now, I have a windowsill garden that I'm working on, and I want to share that with you, some facts. And outdoors, I went for a little walk today, and there's so much to share just on a hike. The names of trees and wildflowers and what's in bloom, what's just beautiful to look at. So that's going to be my weekly program. So thank you very much for tuning in again, and I'll see you on Monday. Let's start on Monday. Thanks. Bye-bye.